What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna go over all the cars that I've owned in the last, I want to say, like 9 years. So I had 11 cars and about 5 of them been in accidents. So let's go through them and let's talk about them and let's just have fun. So let's go. All right, first car, 2007 Mazda 6. First car I've owned, passed me down from my brother. Put some coilovers on, got some wheels. It was my first car, first time modding. It was a cool little car. Post the pictures up right now. But it didn't last that long, okay? So I had it for 1 year, a little less than 1 year. So this car's first car, also first accident. Here's what happened. I am driving on the freeway from East Bay to South Bay. This is the center divide. Carpool lane is right here. And I'm on the lane next to carpool lane. And so I'm moving kind of fast, and my tires were bald. I didn't get alignment because in high school, you don't know that you need alignment after you lower your car. And so I didn't get one for a long while. And so I'm cruising with the speed of traffic, probably kind of fast. And someone in the carpool lane just cuts me off. And so I swerve out the way and I'm like fishtailing. Until I spin out, hit the center divide, spin out again, hit the center divide, and just crashed into the wall and spun out, and the car was totaled. Pictures here. And so, car was done. I was safe. Me and my brother walked out, but I didn't have an airbag just because, you know, energy quick release, so just bruised up, banged up. Car didn't last that long, and that was my very first car. So, the next car I got, another hand-me-down from my parents. It was a 2007 Toyota Avalon. Didn't do nothing with the car, nothing special. It was cool luxury V6, so it was kind of fast, but didn't have any plans for it. Just needed a car to go to school, but that didn't last very long as well. That car been in 2 accidents. So first one, I was at school, park my car, go to class, come back, and I see the car is just sideswiped, and I was like, oh my god, what happened? And I'm looking around and I see a note on my window. It's pouring rain and the words, you can barely make it out, but you see the phone number. So I'm like, okay, at least I got the phone number just in time before the paper got all messed up. And so called the lady. The dad said, sorry, my daughter's hit like 3 cars this month.
What?
And so I don't want to report into insurance. I was like, Jesus Christ, 3 cars? So I was like, sure, whatever, as long as you get it fixed. And so took it to one of their shops, got it fixed in a few days. And that was the first accident. Next one, coming home from school, exiting off the freeway. Tons of traffic in the Bay Area, so I'm just completely stopped on the exit. And all I just hear is smack. Ah, fuck! And I look back and there's like 2 cars on my ass. So it was a 3-car accident. I guess the car behind me, someone hit them and pushed into me, pushed into my bumper, messed up the whole rear end. Luckily, the car wasn't totaled. Got the car fixed for cheap and got some money left over to play around with. And so that was the end of the Avalon. So the next car, I was finally able to buy my own little bucket. Spent dirt cheap, I think it was under $2,000. I bought a Subaru Impreza Outback Sport. Pictures here. It was 2-toned, white on top, beige at the bottom. It was not a cool car, but put some wheels, coilovers, did the, what is it called, the 2.5 RS bumper conversion. Bought it from the dealership. Painted the whole thing white and the whole car white. Nothing special, but thought it was a cool car. Looked great, slow as hell, and automatic. And so pictures up here. It's wasn't the coolest car. It just looked cool, super loud. But next car, 2004 Mazda 3 was the car I had next after that. Don't have any pictures of it. It didn't last long at all. Had it for 3 months. Most of my friends didn't even know I owned it because it just had it and disappeared. And what happened was, so coming home from school at SF State, going home, there's a split on the freeway to stay on SF or to go to Oakland. I'm going to Oakland. Splits. G35 comes from the other side but decides to switch last minute. tries to fit in between me and the center divide. Just messes up the whole car. Move over to the side just so I don't, get into a worse accident. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got sideswiped pretty damn bad. I can hear the door, just wind coming out. And I'm looking at this guy to see if he's going to run away. Follow him for a little bit and he just exits. So I'm like, okay, cool. He's not hit and running. So I follow him to the exit, and apparently I'm pretty sure this guy was drunk because he was stumbling and wasn't very coherent, I would say. I mean, he was coherent enough to understand what happened, but getting insurance from him was a pain in the butt. And so took it to I think it was an appraisal, the people that estimate the damage. Car was total loss. And so yeah, that was the end of the Mazda 3. So next car, 2004 Forester XT. What is my obsession with 2004? I don't know. Yeah, Subaru Forester XT. Nothing special. It was turbo, all-wheel drive, automatic. Lowered it, put some wheels, a lip kit, and some underglow. It was a cool car, but didn't last that long like all my other cars. Didn't get in an accident, but I did sell it. And so, next car. Sold it, got a 2.5 RS. It was like the tan color. I don't know what the specific color code for it was. Painted it dark brown and or metallic from Mako. When I got the car, the first day I got it, I'm driving home and the head gasket blows. Smoke coming out the tailpipe. I was like, oh my God. It's my first time experiencing a Subaru with head gasket blown, and I'm like panicking, like, oh, this white smoke, that's coolant for sure. I'm exiting, trying to exit, car just overheats and shuts off. I'm like, oh shit, I'm screwed. I didn't even register the car yet, I didn't even smog, I didn't do anything. And so stuck on the exit, trying to push the car, take it to a parking lot at O'Reilly's, and I have the car towed to a shop because my knowledge of Subarus are very limited, and I didn't have the space, money, or time to do a replacement or swap. So had a shop replace it, spent too much money on it for a motor, clutch, motor mounts, bunch of bullshit that they probably overcharged me for. But it was a cool car. I got so many props for it, but didn't last that long. As always, pictures will be up here, but yeah, had to let it go because it wasn't that practical, and I hated Subarus after that. Alright, so the next car became a little more classy after I sold the Subaru 2.5 RS, and I got something I thought I would never get. I got a Honda, or more accurately an Acura TSX. Did the basics like I always do: coilovers, wheels, lip kit, so Buddy Club coilovers, Avantgarde wheels, and a spec lip kit. But it was cool. It was a daily. I purposely got it as a cool daily, and that's what it was. And this is where the first time I got a second car and finally got a drift car. And so at the same time, not at the same time I got the car, but during my ownership of the TSX, I picked up a 1991 Mazda Miata. And that was my dedicated drift car. And so I had two at the same time. I had the Miata TSX. Miata became a full track car, did like bolt-in cage, knuckles, suspension, all that cool stuff. Wasn't fun to daily around, wasn't fun to drive at all on the streets. And so what I did was I sold the TSX, because if the Miata was going to become a drift car, I'm going to need a way to take my drift car places, and you can't take four wheels into a Miata. I've seen people do it. It doesn't look safe. It doesn't look fun. Not my style. So sold the TSX and I got a 4Runner. So my luck with cars don't end there. After I got the 4Runner, I thought it was an amazing deal. It supposedly had like 80,000 miles. That's a pretty big red flag, buying a 4Runner 2000, I think it was 4. Yeah, what is my obsession with 2004? 2004 4Runner with supposedly 80,000 miles. Went to go smog and register it. No, went to go register it. I was told it was smog already, but went to go register it, and DMV said I needed to get the smog, and the certificate I have was fake. So that's a big red flag. So went to go get smogged again, and if you're not from California, smog is an emissions things in California. So it passed smog, but I had a little suspicion that something was up, and so paid for the Carfax. Should have done it before, bought the car, but they gave me one, but I shouldn't have trusted them. Now I don't trust nobody, trust issues now. So the car actually had 270,000 miles, but it was reliable as hell. I drove 30,000 miles on a car in less than a year. Towed my Miata to the track. I only towed it like 3 times, but towed it to the track, went snowboarding, off-roading, took it to snow, took it to trails. It was probably one of the best cars I've owned in terms of like price for fun in that budget range. And so great car. Miata was getting a little boring just because it was slow. Can't really street drive it. It was not that great of cars. If you own a Miata, good for you. If you like it, that's great. But for me, it wasn't my favorite. And so it was time to let it go, and had to let it go. Before I move on to the car that you all know, because it's the current car that I've been building on this channel, the 4Runner had to experience the same fate as a lot of my other cars. And so, driving home on the freeway, stopped, minding my own business, Corolla decides to just forget to brake, because apparently brakes don't exist in the Bay Area, and just rear-ended me. And so, hop out the car, or pulled over, hop out the car, my bumper is cracked. That is all. But it was a big impact, and so I'm looking at the other car, it was total. Front end smushed in, fenders on the wheel, rubbing. I was like, you might need a tow truck to go home. So exchange insurance, whatever, went home, drip stitches in my bumper. I hope I have pictures of it still, because it was kind of cool. And that was it. Got a quote from insurance. She said it was her fault, and we moved on. So now, after Miata's gone, I get the IS300. That's a car you guys know on the channel, but my car buying does not end there. I don't have the 4Runner anymore. Sold it because miles were high, wasn't the greatest tow rig, and I was spending way too much money on gas. It was close to $70 a full tank, and I was filling up like 1.5 times a week, and so had to let that go. And so I was searching for a daily, and you can say I discounted as a ownership of a car because I owned it for a few days, but I ended up at a used car dealership, or a stealership is what people call it, and I picked up a 2004 RAV4. It was, I'm pretty sure it was a 4, it might be an 03 actually, but it was a RAV4. Old Asian lady type car. Wasn't the coolest, had it for 3 days. And here's why. When I bought the car, I bought the $100 insurance, where after 3 days you can return it, no questions asked. And so the 3rd day of me driving it, the check engine light comes on. And what did I get? It was for evap. Evap is probably one of the worst codes you can get on a car because it's annoying to chase down. And so what happened was, drove the car straight to the dealership, returned that piece of shit, and was frustrated. Went to the dealership the next day, and that's how I got my 2019 Toyota Corolla. So I hope you guys enjoy this quick story time. I thought I would share, you know, it involved cars. It was interesting. I had so many cars, so many accidents. My insurance is still clean. I got a good record. No accidents were my fault, and so my curse has been lifted. IS300 and the Corolla were both the longest cars I've owned, and so hopefully to build this channel even more. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.